Come on back. I had my connection. I had lost my connection, guys. So I'm back now. Okay? I am back now, guys. So is Rosie. Hi, everybody. Hi. Hi. Rosie is also back with us. Okay. I was in the middle of a good conversation. I had four. Okay, we were talking about the 4 mistakes. We're talking about the 4 mistakes that people make at end of life. Okay, and I was down to number 2. No, number 3, because I spoke about the first 2 ones. I was down to number 3, and then my internet went out. So now we are at part 2, guys. Okay. Now we are on part 2, and I pray that everything goes smoothly, and I pray that you guys could come in. Okay. I'm just gonna wait a little bit for YouTube to gather us up, because we were having a very good conversation in the previous video. So please go back after you watch this one, go back to see the previous one that we were talking about. My green juice, guys. I'm new to the world of juicing. I made this green juice by myself. If you would like to share recipes with me, please, I would love to hear your recipe regarding green juice. Yes, my beautiful people, you guys are back. Thank you so much for coming back. Okay, part 2. Please, if you are new to this channel, I'm going to ask you to please support. Give me a like, subscribe, okay? Thank you so much, Eddie. Eddie, please be sure to subscribe, all right? And give me a like. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you so much. Thank you, Split Matter. Okay, thank you, my friends, for being here. I was on a previous live, but my internet got disconnected, which is fine, okay, because I'm not gonna give up. I always come back for more. Okay, I have to finish what I started. Thank you, guys. Be sure to subscribe, give me a like, you know. Thank you, Eddie. I appreciate you, my friend. You are so kind. Yes, we're going to talk about 4 mistakes that people make at end of life. On this channel right here, if you are new to this channel, welcome. My name is Nurse Dawn. I am a hospice registered nurse. I'm an end of life nurse. I take care of people when they are dying. I take care of people at end of life. I take care of people, and I support their families, you know, with their loved ones who has a terminal illness. Okay, that's my specialty. I specialize in terminal illnesses. Okay, so we were talking about 4 mistakes that people usually make, okay, that we make at end of life. Over the years, I've been a hospice nurse for 14 years, okay, 14 years. And since over the years, I have gathered and I have witnessed these 4 mistakes. And briefly, I'm going to talk about the first 2 because I've already talked about them in the previous part. The first one is that the family tries to keep it a secret, okay? The caregiver, even the patient, tries to keep it a secret. And what happens is, when we try to keep these things a secret, we forfeit getting the help. You see, We don't get the help that we need. We don't get the support that we deserve, you see. So therefore, I strongly encourage us, don't keep it a secret, okay? All right, Split, come back, sweetie. Thank you. Make sure you subscribe, okay? And give me a like. So when we, you know, when we keep it a secret, we are hurting ourselves, you see. And so in part one, I talk about, please, if you find yourself having a terminal illness, if you find yourself, you know, dealing with somebody at end of life, oh, congratulations, you are a dancer. Yeah, you are a dancer. I love it. I love it. You know, you're a ballerina. Yay, twirling, twirl, twirl, twirl. See, I just twirled for you. That's my ballerina move. Hello, Diamond. Oh, Diamond liked my twirl. Okay, let me do it one more time, okay? Twirl. Yay! That's for my ballerina out there. Good luck, sweetie, okay? Good luck. Practice. Practice hard. But yeah, you guys, we have to have fun, okay? Life is short, okay? As a nurse, as an end-of-life nurse, life is short. And I'm here to tell you, have the heart, enjoy life in the eyes of a child, okay? See life in the eyes of a child. That will really help you to minimize your stress, okay? Be childish, you know, like, it's okay. Stop taking life so seriously, all right? It's not meant to be taken seriously. It's meant to be joyful, okay? Take it from me as a hospice nurse, all right? Okay, so, and then the second mistake that we make at end of life is that we blame ourselves, you see? When somebody is dying, when somebody has an illness, they tend to blame themselves. And I use the example of, you know, let's just call him Mr. Smith. Mr. Smith, okay, one of my patients, he had lung cancer. You know, he has lung cancer, and he was a smoker for years and years and years, all right? And then finally, he developed lung cancer. And over the years, his family, friends, and doctors told him to stop smoking, you know, and he did not listen. So when he finally developed, you know, lung cancer, he started to blame himself. He said, you know, I'm the reason why right now I'm dying. I'm the reason why, you know, I have lung cancer. And I had to tell him, you know, I had to say, please, Mr. Smith, don't blame yourself, because you and I both know there are many people out there with lung cancer, who smokes and they don't have lung cancer, right? I'm sure you know people out there, you know, who smokes, who drinks, and they're fine, you know? So us blaming ourselves for having the illness, it's not useful at that point, you see? At that point, it's more useful to try to definitely stay positive, to try to stay as stressless as possible, okay? So that's the number two. So number one, I spoke, and like I said, please go back to see the previous video after this, okay? Number one is that we keep our illness a secret when we have an illness that has no cure. Because here at DunsHospice, we talk about what to do when you find that your family member has an illness that has no cure, that the doctors say the best thing to do is to go home and be comfortable, you know? So oftentimes the first thing that I say, the first mistake is that families try to keep it a secret, like, shh, don't tell nobody, you know? And when we keep things a secret, that means we cannot get the help that you and I deserve. You see, we cannot get the help, we cannot get the resources that we deserve. And number two is that people blame themselves. When people find themselves with an illness, you know, they blame themselves, and that's not productive, okay? Now, number three the third mistake that I see people make over my years of being a hospice nurse is that they try to avoid help as much as possible. Even if the nurse knocks at their door, say, "Hi, my name is Nurse Dawn. Your doctor put in a referral. Your doctor says that you could benefit from our service." Most of, like, sometimes the families will not accept help. They'll say, "Oh, we are fine. We'll be fine. It's not that bad. We don't need help." When in actuality, the patient is constantly going to the hospital. The patient has lost weight. The patient is in pain. The patient has, skin breakdown. The patient has infections. You see? So there's all these problems going on. The patient is anxious, aggressive. So there's all these problems going on, guys, but yet the family refused to get the help, So that is the third mistake. Please, if you ever find yourself taking care of somebody under hospice, get the help, that you deserve. Because I often tell my caregivers, please help me to help you. You see, I cannot help you unless you help me to help you. Okay, guys? So you guys, please be sure to subscribe. Okay, subscribe, give me a like, help me to grow this channel. Okay, because I feel like this message, more and more people needs to hear this kind of message. Okay, because my channel right here, I really help families and I help caregivers to feel like they are not alone. Okay, I help caregivers to stay connected. And if you who's watching, if you are on TikTok, I'm also on TikTok. Okay, I'm also on Instagram. I would love to also stay connected with you on my other platforms too. Okay, under DunsHospice. All right, guys, DunsHospice. Okay. But yeah, so that's the third mistake that I see. I see that families, they are reluctant to accept help, especially when they need the help and they could use the help, So that's a third mistake. And if you find yourself taking care of a family member who has an illness that there's no cure, please accept the help. When the nurse offers, when the doctor offers, accept it, okay? And the last number 4, because I only have 4, okay? Number 4, and let me know, my friend who's watching right now, let me know if you have any questions about death and dying, about what to do when you find your loved ones dying. Let me know, please. I would love to help you out, okay? So number 4, number 4, the fourth mistakes that families make is the fact that they do not plan. They don't plan for the end, okay? And I really want us to be able to plan for the end. If you find yourself in a situation where your loved ones is dying, don't wait till the very end. Call the funeral home. You see? Because I have been in situations where the patient dies, the patient passes. I go to do the pronouncement and there's no funeral home. It's like in the middle of the night, and I asked the family, I said, who should I call? Which funeral home should I call? And the family looked at me and say, we don't have a funeral home. We haven't done any of that. And it's like, what? And so please, if you find yourself, in that situation where the doctors say there's no cure, for your illness, and the best thing to do is to go home and be comfortable. If you find yourself in that situation, okay, if you are the caregiver, if you are the daughter, the son, the husband, the wife, okay, please be sure to set up funeral arrangements, okay? Don't wait until the person passes, because oftentimes, one daughter will say something, the other daughter will say something, one family here, one family there, and know that hospice does not pay for a funeral home. Okay. Hello, my friend. Thank you for being here, Oma. Thank you, my friend. So hospice does not pay for funeral home arrangements. It's out of your pockets, okay? So it's very wise to to think about these things ahead of times, you know, because it is costly. Planning for a funeral home, planning for funerals is costly, okay? Not only that, but you also need to make sure that before the person pass, you know about their will. If they have a will, you know where it's kept. Because so many times, my friend, when little old Miss Smith died, her daughter or her sons have no idea where the will is. You know, they're looking all over to try to know where the thing. They don't know where the documents is. They don't know where mom or dad kept their documents. You know, so I'm here to tell you guys, absolutely. You know, absolutely, guys. Like, make sure that you know, you let your family know. Let your family know when, like, where your documents are. You know, make sure that you let your families know that, you know, like, my will is here. You know, my estates. You know, tell them. You know, be transparent and have that conversation with your mom. Have that conversation with your dad before it's too late. You know, because oftentimes, from my experience, the family, the children, they don't know where the papers are, you know, because mom and dad been married for 50 years and they have, you know, their papers all, you know, they have their own house and who knows. Okay, so that's definitely number 4. The fourth mistake that I see is that families don't plan for the end. And I understand, I know that it's emotional, you know, it's a very touchy subject, you know, but from my experience, those who are more organized, people who have accepted the end, people who plan for the end, have a much, much better passing. Okay, so give your family the gift of peace. You see, give your family the gift of peace, and make sure you talk about the end of life. Like, make sure you talk about how you want it to look like, because some people don't want to be buried, some people want to be cremated, you know, some people want to be in a special, you know, outfit, you know. So all of that are discussions that the nurse or the social worker can help you, especially the hospice social worker. That is their specialty. Their specialty is to help you plan funeral arrangements, and also is to help to facilitate the difficult discussions about the end of life. Okay, let me know, my beautiful people, do you guys have any questions? Do you have any questions for me? That's what I wanted to share. Okay, that's what I wanted to come back here and talk about in part 2. Okay, let me know. Please be sure, like I said, to subscribe. Okay, subscribe, follow me, support this channel. Okay, guys, support this channel. This channel is for you. I really want to help the caregivers. You know, I really want to help you guys to make sure that you are well informed, that you have the knowledge that you need in order to make the best decision for you and your family. Okay, okay, guys. Okay, I'm not sure if my friend split is here, or if Eddie is here, but thank you guys for being with me. Thank you so much, Diamond, for subscribing. I appreciate you. Okay, thank you, Omar, for coming to say hi. Okay, guys, please be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you'll know each time I upload a video. Thank you for your support. Thank you for helping this channel to grow. I appreciate you so much. Okay. Follow me on TikTok, follow me on Instagram. Okay, guys. Let me know if you have any questions about end of life or death. Okay. I appreciate you so much. Okay. Well, I'm about to go now. My name is Nurse Dawn. All right. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Okay. Take care, my friends. All right. Take care. Bye.